8. Justice and supporting environments. To achieve the long-term overarching ambition and the high-level outcomes for justice and supporting environments described in Section 4, this section sets out the outcomes we expect to see over a 10-year period as a result of the actions we take to ensure disabled people can access justice and have supportive environments. Justice and supporting environments is made up of the following themes: access to justice and accessible and supporting environments. Access to justice. Outcome 1. Influence on reserved powers. Disabled people's experiences with reserved functions of the legal and justice systems are improved through continued engagement with the UK government to champion the rights of disabled people, better coordinated supporting services, and pursue improved outcomes for those interacting at all stages of the process. Outcome 2. Effective access to civil and criminal justice. Disabled people in Wales are educated on their rights in relation to justice, whether as a claimant, victim, or perpetrator of crime, and have access to appropriate and local legal advice and complaints procedures that can meet their needs for community care, education, housing, immigration and asylum, and welfare benefits, wherever they are in Wales. Outcome 3. Violence, sexual abuse and domestic violence. Disabled victims or survivors of violence, sexual abuse and domestic abuse have access to appropriately resourced, high-quality, needs-led, strength-based, intersectional and responsive services across Wales. Outcome 4. Representative legislation. The rights enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Disabled People and the Social Model of Disability are recognised within policy, and where appropriate and possible, legislation based on the ongoing review of existing legislation. Outcome 5. Evidence. Through independent research, analysis of existing data, and engagement with partner agencies, disabled people's outcomes and experiences with the legal and justice systems are better understood, providing a robust evidence base to support the case for an accessible and inclusive system. The outcomes above align to Article 5 of the UN CRDP, which sets out that all individuals are equal before the law and entitled to equal protection and benefits without discrimination. It mandates countries to prohibit discrimination based on disability and ensures equal legal protection for disabled people. Hate crime remains a significant issue for disabled people across the UK, mainly due to persistent societal prejudices and misconceptions about disability. These crimes are often underreported, partly because victims may fear not being taken seriously or may lack confidence in the support systems available. Additionally, disability hate crimes can sometimes be perpetrated by those close to the victim, complicating the reporting and prosecution processes. Although hate crime recorded by the police in Wales, where disability was a motivating factor, decreased from 752 in 2023-24 to 739 in 2024-25. hatecrime.uk.gov. The number of these crimes remains unacceptably high. According to the Chief Crown Prosecutor and National Hate Crime Lead in investigating and prosecuting disability hate crime Best Practice CPS, disability hate crime is one of the most pervasive and underreported forms of hate crime. It is an insidious crime that can manifest itself in overt violence or subtle yet deeply harmful acts of prejudice and targeting. Its impact on individuals and communities remains far-reaching and profound. We must continue to take action to address and prevent these horrendous crimes, ensuring that disabled people are protected and supported at all levels of society. The Welsh Government is committed to challenging these misconceptions and advocating for the rights and protection of disabled people. To improve the understanding of hate crime, the Welsh Government is committed to collaborating with disabled people's organisations to make information accessible, particularly for people with learning disabilities, and to ensure disabled people recognise hate crimes, know how to report these crimes, and understand where to seek support. Additionally, Welsh Government's Hate Hurts Wales 2025 to 27 will include a focus on crime against disabled people. The Welsh Government is committed to ensuring that disabled survivors and victims of crime have equal access to high quality and responsive services across Wales. We are also committed to advocating for better access to data on the disabled population in prisons, including women prisoners from Wales who are housed in England. This effort is crucial for understanding and addressing the needs of disabled people in prisons. We know that disabled people, particularly those who are neurodivergent, are overrepresented in the criminal justice system. Training on the social model of disability for staff is important to fostering an inclusive and supportive environment for disabled individuals in the justice system. The Welsh Government is committed to ensuring prisoners are assessed appropriately and early to ensure equal access to education in Wales. We are continuing to invest in the delivery of the Violence Against Women and Domestic Abuse and Sexual Violence strategy to provide victims with support and advice across all areas of Wales through regional grant funding. Additionally, the Welsh Government will review provision of support services for disabled survivors of abuse in Wales through the Violence Against Women, Domestic Abuse and Sexual Abuse VAWDASV Sustainable Whole System Approach Workstream. We will continue to work with the BSL stakeholder group and disabled people's groups to inform the development/translation of safeguarding resources in line with key messages topics materials they have designed as a priority for them. Every 3 years, these actions will be reviewed and updated so that they reflect progress being made and the learning arising. As part of the delivery structure for the strategy, we have a Victim Survivors Advisory Group and a Children and Young People's Advisory Group, and we will continue to work with key internal and external stakeholders to publicise opportunities to join these groups or for engaging in other ways to ensure disabled children and adults are represented and have their voices heard. The Welsh Government's Information and Advice Quality Framework, IAQF, is designed to assist members of the public in the selection of sources of support by providing assurance that information and advice services offer high-quality interventions. The IAQF Wales is particularly focused on social welfare advice topics that directly support these goals. Most importantly, welfare benefits, financial inclusion including debt and money advice, housing and homelessness, employment, immigration and discrimination. Welsh Government will continue its support of the IAQF Wales and will make resources available to support a strategically planned framework of social welfare advice services across Wales that target key population groups, including disabled people, improving their access to quality-assured impartial social welfare advice. Accessible and supporting environments. Outcome 1. A discrimination-free society. Bullying in schools of disabled children, harmful and discriminatory attitudes towards disabled people, including stereotypes, are challenged on a societal level, with a collective understanding of disabled people's rights, experiences, needs, and history ensured to drive forward an inclusive culture, instilled throughout the public, private and third sectors to improve outcomes for all. Outcome 2. Support for disabled people's organisations. Disabled people's organisations, DPOs, across Wales have a strategic role in advocating for the rights of disabled people and are supported through the funding, capacity and financial security necessary to further their positive impact. Their value and expertise are reflected in both the support and opportunities they receive from the Welsh Government and other organisations, and their involvement in policy and service development throughout the public sector in Wales. Outcome 3. Inclusive public services. Public bodies in Wales have increased resource, understanding and lived experience at all levels to incorporate the social model of disability and uphold the rights of disabled people, and are held to account against the public sector equality duty by leadership and scrutiny bodies that ensure the fair representation of disabled people. Outcome 4. Inclusive politics. Disabled people in Wales participate actively in political and public life, which enriches the democratic process, leading to a more just and equitable Wales. Outcome 5. The Welsh Government. Disabled people in Wales are represented by a government that values, understands and respects them, enshrining disabled people's rights in policy and law. The Welsh Government draws upon lived experience in leadership and throughout the organisation, and works with stakeholders to achieve substantive societal change. Outcome 6. Digital inclusion. Everyone in Wales has access to the digital tools, basic digital skills and connectivity they need to meet a minimum digital living standard. They are empowered to choose how they use and engage with digital technology in ways that are meaningful to them. This enables full participation in society, enhances well-being, and supports a more inclusive, equitable, and digitally confident Wales. The outcomes above align to Article 9 and Article 8 of the UNCRDP. Article 9 of the UNCRDP, which focuses on accessibility, emphasising the need for countries to ensure disabled people have access to information, distribution of accessible information and communications technologies and systems at an early stage, so that these technologies and systems become accessible at minimum cost and other services, including electronic service. Article 8 of the UNCRDP, which sets out countries' need to raise societal awareness about disabled persons, combat stereotypes and prejudices, and promote respect for their rights and dignity. Measures include public awareness campaigns, education initiatives, media guidelines, and training programs to foster positive perceptions and social awareness. In our increasingly digital world, the exclusion of disabled people due to the lack of accessible technology remains a significant barrier to equality. Many applications are not designed with accessibility in mind, leading to difficulties in access to transport, work, and leisure. Approximately 7% of adults in Wales continue to be digitally excluded, and the move to a cashless society continues to create a barrier for many disabled people. Mencap Cymru has called for both cash and cards to continue to be used at shops and restaurants to ensure disabled and older people are not excluded and discriminated against. This lack of accessible technology obstructs disabled people's ability to participate fully in various aspects of daily life. As set out in the Equality Act 2010, reasonable adjustments must be made to ensure that disabled people have equal access to these technologies. However, without accessible technology, the potential of digital tools to enhance independence and inclusion is lost, perpetuating cycles of exclusion and inequality. Welsh Government has committed through its Learning Disabilities Strategic Action Plan to reviewing the appropriate use of technology and digital options to maximise engagement and build and improve connections for people with learning disabilities. The Welsh Government is working to ensure that appropriate Welsh language assistive software, including bilingual speech recognition and synthesis, is easily available to improve the well-being of disabled people. Journalism, social media and the media industry play a crucial role in shaping public perceptions and attitudes towards disabled people. Negative portrayals can contribute to the marginalisation of disabled people, reinforcing negative attitudes and creating barriers to inclusion. An informed and inclusive approach, highlighting the achievements, rights and contributions of disabled people, is needed to improve outcomes for disabled people. The Welsh Government is committed to raising public awareness, challenging discrimination of disabled people, promoting positive attitudes towards disabled people, and collaboration with stakeholders to ensure policies are inclusive. Welsh Government aims to continue to integrate the views and expertise of disabled people into all aspects of society, including local and national democratic structures. It is important that individuals' lived experience is able to inform discussion and outcomes, and that this results in a better, more inclusive environment for disabled people to actively participate in shaping the decisions that impact on their daily lives. Engaging with political parties and supporting broader initiatives that seek to increase the representation of disabled people in politics is key to ensuring this active participation driven by mutual respect. The Welsh Government is committed to making the Senedd and local government more diverse and representative of the people they serve. Disabled people are likely to face greater costs when seeking elected office due to their impairments. A key action of our Diversity and Democracy programme was the delivery of our pilot, Access to Elected Office Fund for Wales. An independent evaluation of the arrangements was undertaken, and the report concluded there was overwhelming support for the fund and that it should be retained. The Elections and Elected Bodies Wales Act 2024 builds on our work to date and includes a range of measures aimed at creating a more inclusive political environment. This includes the requirement for the Welsh ministers to establish and maintain a fund to support disabled candidates with the additional costs associated with standing for election. Work is underway to deliver these arrangements. We have recently consulted on draft guidance to support registered political parties in Wales to develop, publish, implement and regularly review diversity and inclusion strategies for Welsh elections, collect and publish diversity information about candidates for Senedd elections and elected members, and consider steps they may take in relation to voluntary quotas for women.